Check this out from creating your best year ever.
Let's realize that where we are in our culture is not good, right? Raise your hand if you think if we're sick. Raise your hand if you think we're sick in our country. Yeah, we're sick, right? It's a sad reality. I mean, you start to look and see what's happening in our country when it comes to obesity. In 2014, more than 1/3 of U.S. adults are obese. U.S. adults, not the world. U.S. adults are obese, right? You start to see what it's doing. It's not just about your pant size. You see what it's doing for these diseases. There's more and more research coming out saying that just obesity alone will cause an increased risk of osteoporosis, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, right? All these heavy-hitting diseases out there. And when we get one of those diseases or being diagnosed with high blood pressure or cholesterol issues, we blame it on our parents. Who's ever blamed their health problem on their parents before? Come on. Or their grandparents, right? It runs in my family. That's a lie. Less than 9% of everything that happens to your health runs in your family. Sorry, 91% who? Us. That's not fun, right? Taking ownership isn't fun, but it's a necessity, right? And that's what we're going to start to do today, right? Another thing is we blame it on our age. Who's ever blamed their symptoms or their weight on their age? You turn 30, 40, 50, everything falls apart, right? Come on, and then you talk to people your same age, and they have the same thing going on, and then for some reason, I don't know why it is, but for some reason we feel better about it. That's good, I'm 40 and we both have bad knees. I'm okay now. Now let's go to fast food and not drink our water and drink soda, right? Who's ever been there? I'm not going to call you up, but who's ever been there, right? It's human nature to want to feel normal, right? The problem is all these things are normal in our culture, or they're common, but they aren't normal in our culture, right? They're common, but they should not be normal. And so what's happening is you see from a financial aspect too. I mean, everyone says, well, it's too expensive to get healthy, it's too expensive to do this, and then when things are in a crisis, when your body's in a crisis, you'll spend a lot of money, right? You don't want to, but you start to get bills in the mail, right? For that hospital visit, those medications, your insurance premium goes up. The Unaffordable Care Act isn't working, right? So look at this. Annual medical expenditures attribute to just obesity alone, right, has doubled in less than a decade, maybe as high as $147 billion per year. That's just obesity alone. So listen, I want everyone to lose weight like as a side effect to getting healthy. This isn't just a drop 20 pounds in 10 days type of program and then you're good to go. Like when you focus on getting well, the weight should start to come off, slowly or quickly, depending on the person, right? It's not about your pant size. It's if your body's healing and functioning, if you're making the right choices. Because what's happening is affecting our kids now. Yeah, it's a funny diagram, isn't it? Funny image. But 20% of American 4-year-olds are obese. That's crazy. Do you guys remember when we were going to school, like there was one kid out of an entire class that was like overweight and obese? One kid that couldn't run the mile, one kid that it was ADHD, one kid that, was really just not healthy. Now it's majority of kids. It's not just on the playground that we see it, but we're actually, medical research is even showing it in these kids' arteries too. What they're finding is that 25% of children 5 and up have some type of plaquing in their arteries. That's crazy, right? I mean, think about the stress. Because we know what weight does on our body at age 40, 50, 60, right? We know what it does. It doesn't feel good, right? So think about a kid who's 5, 10, 15 years old growing with that weight on their body. It's hard, right? It's hard in their joints. It's hard in their organs. So this stuff, although you may came this morning just for you, it's actually for your kids and grandkids too. So don't forget that, right? Don't forget that. So cause and effect. Some of you have seen this already. We're not going to spend too much time on this, but 15-pound weight gain doubles your risk of type 2 diabetes. 22-pound weight gain increases your heart attack risk by 75%, which is crazy. And obesity, when it comes down to the BMI charts, doubles your risk of heart failure. It triples your risk of breast cancer in women if you're considered obese. And so this is the thing is that it's not about, once again, just your pant size or what the scale says. And although we have scales up here, we're not going to be weighing in today, okay? Don't get scared. It's part of our decorations. Thank you, Morgan, right? But we have to understand that our weight, our height, our age, all of that plays into part of this, right? It's one indicator, but the problem with BMI is it doesn't take into account your exercise routine, your muscle mass, right? So don't put a lot of weight into the BMI scale, but understand it's just another metric that some doctors use, some places use. But understand if you're exercising and your muscle mass is greater than the other person's on the same height and age as you, okay, you're going to weigh differently. So don't freak out, right? My goal is to not have you weigh in on the scale every single morning and jot it down. I don't want that to happen. Because then you become a slave to the number and a slave to the scale, a slave to our image, a slave to what we want in our culture, worldly things, and really should be focused on one thing, making sure our temple's healthy and functioning at 100%, right? So final health report card. This is the last, Debbie Downer stuff we're going to be talking about today. 29 million Americans have diabetes. 86 million are pre-diabetic. That's from the 88. They say that 1 in 3 people actually have some form of diabetes and don't even know it. 1 in 3. And you guys know, do you like sugar? We all like sugar, right? Come on. We like breads, crackers, and chips, right? Those turn to sugar, right? So it doesn't surprise us why people will be diabetic or pre-diabetic. There's sugar in everything, everywhere we go, right? About 600,000 people die of heart disease. That's 1 in every 4 deaths. This is a 2010 study, so that number's going up. And you just start to get down a little bit lower. 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women are projected to develop cancer. And cancer, at our last makeover, we did a cancer killers event. It was powerful, but you understand that cancer, even some research shows it's less than 5%. Less than 5% goes back to your genes. Less than 5%. 95% is what our body goes through, what it experiences, and what we do to it, right? So we have obviously an F-. I know, it's negative, sorry, right? So we're going to play a quick video here to shed a little bit of happiness on what's happening in our culture and how we want to be completely different. And at the end of the day, what we're doing compared to all of our friends, family, people at church, if they're doing what the run-of-the-mill is doing, the wide path, then that's not good. You guys see where these numbers are, right? The final report health card here, it's not good. So we got to be going in the other direction, the complete other direction. So